Messi, 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 immens Messi, encara 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 Messi, gol, 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 gol,
Absolutely outstanding. What a way.
How does a boy rejected by every major team in his own country become the greatest footballer of all time? Born with a medical condition that nearly ended his career before it even started, Lionel Messi's journey isn't just about talent, it's about betrayal, scandal, and an almost impossible redemption arc that no one saw coming. He broke records no one thought would fall. He was worshipped like a god, and then suddenly cast aside by the very club he gave everything to. But the most shocking part? That wasn't even the biggest twist, because behind the scenes, Messi's rise was tangled in tax fraud allegations, locker room tensions, and one international heartbreak after another. And just when the world thought he was finished, he came back, not just to win, but to silence every last doubt. This is the story of how Messi was doubted, discarded, and nearly destroyed, and how he turned every setback into legend. And it all started with a contract written on a napkin.
Before the stadiums, before the trophies, before the world even knew his name, Lionel Messi was just a small boy from Rosario, Argentina, fighting a battle no one could see. At just 10 years old, doctors told him he had a growth hormone deficiency. His body wasn't developing the way it should. Without daily injections that cost hundreds of dollars a month, he'd never grow tall enough or strong enough to play professional football. His family tried everything. His father worked at a steel factory, his mother cleaned houses, but no Argentine team would take on the financial burden. They all saw the risk, none saw the future. Until one day, a scout from FC Barcelona watched Messi dribble past kids twice his size as if they weren't even there. They saw something rare, something unreal, but even they hesitated. The deal was far from certain. Weeks went by without a response. The family was losing hope. Then, in one of the most famous moments in football history, a Barcelona executive scribbled a contract onto a paper napkin. That napkin changed Messi's life forever. He packed his bags. At just 13 years old, he left Argentina and everything he knew behind. No promises, no guarantees, just a shot. But that napkin was only the beginning, and the next few years would test Messi in ways no one expected. When Messi arrived at Barcelona's youth academy, he barely spoke. Not because he was shy, though he was, but because he didn't even know the language. Surrounded by taller, stronger, louder kids, he kept to himself, quietly dribbling past everyone during practice. He wasn't flashy. He didn't showboat, but when the ball touched his left foot, coaches and players stopped talking. By 14, he was already tearing through Barcelona's youth ranks, scoring 21 goals in just 14 games. No one had seen anything like it. He didn't just play football, he bent it to his will. Then, at just 16, Messi made his unofficial debut in a friendly match for Barcelona's senior team. The crowd didn't know his name. Most barely noticed him. But the players did. Even Ronaldinho, Barcelona's global superstar at the time, started calling him the Little Magician. Behind the scenes, rumors spread. Was Messi the future? Was the era of Ronaldinho already ending? It didn't take long for the answer to become clear. In the 2004-2005 season, Messi officially debuted in La Liga at just 17 and scored his first goal with a cheeky chip that stunned the crowd. He became the youngest goal scorer in Barcelona's history at the time. But the spotlight wasn't all praise. Critics wondered, was he too quiet to lead? Too humble to dominate? They didn't understand what was happening. Messi wasn't trying to take over. He already had. By 2005, Messi had taken Barcelona by storm, but not everyone was cheering. That year, he was granted Spanish citizenship, a move meant to help him avoid foreign player limits in La Liga. It was a strategic decision, but in the fiercely independent region of Catalonia, it hit a nerve. Barcelona fans had long prided themselves on their Catalan identity, their resistance to Madrid, and their connection to players who reflected that pride. Messi, despite wearing the jersey, was still seen by some as el extranjero, the outsider. He didn't speak the language, he didn't play politics, and as he rose to global fame, whispers grew louder. Was Messi truly one of us? Even within the locker room, tension simmered. Rumors swirled of cliques, favoritism, and jealousy. Some saw him as Ronaldinho's shadow. Others feared he'd outshine the entire team. But none of it slowed him down. Between 2009 and 2012, Messi shattered expectations, winning 4 consecutive Ballon d'Ors and leading Barcelona to one of the most dominant stretches in football history. He wasn't just scoring goals, he was making history. Still, as he rose, a strange contradiction followed him. Loved by the world, but never fully embraced by the one place that made him. He was a legend in Spain, but not quite a symbol of Catalonia. And that quiet divide would only grow deeper as the years went on.
For years, Lionel Messi seemed untouchable. Records fell, trophies stacked up. Fans around the world worshipped him like a hero. But in 2013, the headlines changed. Messi and his father were charged with tax fraud, accused of using offshore companies to hide millions in endorsement earnings. For a player known for staying out of the spotlight, the scandal hit like a thunderclap. 4.2 million euros, that was the number, hidden from Spanish authorities, according to prosecutors. Messi claimed he didn't know, that his father handled all the finances. But the Spanish court didn't buy it. In 2016, both father and son were found guilty. They paid 5 million euros to the government, but it wasn't enough to walk away clean. The sentence? 21 months in prison, suspended because it was their first offense. They didn't serve time, but the damage was already done. For the first time, Messi wasn't being seen as a humble genius. He was being painted as a liar, a fraud, a symbol of how the rich play by different rules. Even fans who had adored him began to turn. Some said he'd betrayed the club. Others called him arrogant, untouchable. The golden boy had a crack in his armor, and everyone wanted a closer look. But Messi didn't lash out. He didn't post statements. He didn't blame the media. He did what he always did. He showed up on the pitch, said nothing, and let his feet do the talking. But the real heartbreak, that was still to come. For over 2 decades, Lionel Messi was Barcelona. From a teenager on a napkin contract to the club's all-time top scorer, he gave everything: his prime, his legacy, his loyalty. And when things got tough, he stayed. Through coach changes, locker room chaos, and financial crises, he stayed. Until 2021. Barcelona was drowning in debt. Years of reckless spending and mismanagement had pushed the club to the edge, and La Liga's strict salary cap rules were clear. Messi's new contract couldn't be registered. The fans were stunned, but Messi? He was blindsided. Rumors claim he had already agreed to a massive pay cut just to stay. He showed up to sign the deal, only to be told it couldn't happen, that it was over. Just like that. The same club he had saved time and time again walked away. At his farewell press conference, Messi broke down. No crowd, no final game, no last goal in front of the Camp Nou faithful. Just tears and silence.
"I did everything I could," he said, voice cracking. The internet exploded. Was this really the end? Did Barcelona push him out, or was there more behind the scenes? Some blamed the board, others blamed La Liga, but one truth remained. Messi didn't want to leave. He was forced out. And for the first time in his career, Lionel Messi was no longer a Barcelona player. But his next chapter, no one could have predicted.
When Lionel Messi signed with Paris Saint-Germain in 2021, it looked like a dream on paper. He joined forces with Kylian Mbappe and Neymar, creating a trio that was supposed to dominate Europe. Fans called it a super team. Sponsors rushed in. Jersey sales exploded. But something was off. Messi smiled for the cameras, waved at the crowds, but he didn't look like himself. And on the pitch, it showed. He still delivered magic. There were brilliant passes, flashes of genius, but the fire was dimmer. The connection was missing. Even PSG fans began to notice. Chants turned into boos. One moment, he was a global icon. The next, he was whistled by his own supporters in the Parc des Princes. Behind the scenes, reports leaked of locker room rifts. Whispers claimed Messi never fully settled, never clicked with the system. Some said he missed Barcelona. Others believed he never wanted to be in Paris at all. Even after winning back-to-back Ligue 1 titles, the critics didn't back off. The Champions League remained elusive, and to many, Messi's time at PSG felt like a strange pause in an otherwise legendary career. No storybook ending, no emotional highs, just 2 years that felt like someone else's chapter. But through all the noise, Messi never complained. He kept playing, kept showing flashes of the GOAT everyone remembered, because deep down he knew his real mission wasn't in Paris. It was waiting for him halfway across the world, draped in blue and white.
For all his club success, there was one thing Lionel Messi had never claimed: a senior World Cup title with Argentina. And for years, it haunted him. He'd come painfully close. In 2014, he carried a struggling team all the way to the final, only to lose in extra time to Germany. In 2015 and 2016, he lost back-to-back Copa America finals. After the third, he walked off the field in tears and stunned the world by announcing his international retirement. He said, "I tried everything. It hurts not to be a champion." But the retirement didn't last. He came back, and in 2021, something changed. Messi led Argentina to victory in the Copa America, finally lifting a major trophy with his country. It was emotional, raw, and for many fans, enough. But Messi wasn't finished. In 2022, with the world watching, he returned to the biggest stage of all, the World Cup in Qatar. And this time, he played like a man possessed. Goal after goal, assist after assist. From the group stage to the knockout rounds, Messi was unstoppable. Each match felt like a statement. I'm not done. I'm not fading. I'm still the best in the world. The final? A thriller against France. Messi scored twice, including a penalty in the shootout. Argentina won. Chaos erupted. Millions took to the streets. Even Messi, who rarely showed emotion, sank to his knees and wept. He wasn't just a champion, he was a national hero. And when the tournament ended, there was one last twist. Messi was awarded the Golden Ball, making him the only male player in history to win it twice. In 2023, he claimed his record-breaking 8th Ballon d'Or, proof that even after everything, he was still at the top. The redemption arc was complete. The critics silenced. The GOAT debate, for many, ended right there. But unbelievably, his story didn't stop.
After conquering Europe and finally lifting the World Cup, Messi could have walked away, retired a legend. closed the book on a career no one could touch. Instead, he turned to a new challenge, one no one saw coming. In 2023, Lionel Messi signed with Inter Miami in Major League Soccer. Critics said it was a retirement league, that he was taking the easy route. But what happened next shocked everyone. Messi didn't just play, he transformed the league. Stadiums sold out overnight. TV ratings exploded. Fans who had never watched a full match before were suddenly chanting his name. In just one season, he scored 20 goals, led his team to an unprecedented playoff run, and was crowned MLS MVP in 2024. The Messi effect was real. Ticket prices tripled. Youth registrations spiked. Soccer in the US wasn't a niche sport anymore. It was the conversation. But the most unexpected moment came in 2025. Standing in the White House beside U.S. President Joe Biden, Messi was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, America's highest civilian honor, a symbol not just of athletic greatness, but of cultural impact, of how one man could unite people through sport without ever raising his voice. From a boy who needed hormone treatments just to grow, to a man being honored as a global icon. And even now, whispers continue. Will he retire after the 2026 World Cup? Will he go into coaching, politics? Will he ever return to Barcelona for one final match? No one knows for sure. Because with Messi, the story always finds a way to surprise you.
Lionel Messi's story isn't just about football. It's about defiance, about rewriting the limits people place on you before you've even begun. He was too small, too quiet, too foreign, too expensive, too late to win it all. And yet he did. 8 Ballon d'Ors, a World Cup, every major trophy in club football, records that may never be broken. And still, after every headline, every scandal, every betrayal, he never pointed fingers. He never sought revenge. He just kept playing. From the dusty streets of Rosario to the roar of Camp Nou, to the silence of being forced out, to the deafening explosion of Argentina's World Cup victory. His journey wasn't clean, it wasn't perfect, but that's what made it unforgettable. Because Messi didn't just dominate a sport, he became its soul. And now, as the world waits to see if the next World Cup will be his last, one thing is certain. There may be other greats, other stars, other legends, but there will never be another story quite like his.